So, welcome to this workshop on mental fitness for dealing with stress. And hopefully this will be useful for things like exams. So, welcome to this workshop on mental fitness for dealing with stress. I need to close this. Sorry about that. So I'll take us through a few methods to for dealing with stress, looking at the vagus nerve, a breathing exercise as well. We'll start with that, but let's just wait a minute or so in case other people are going to join. I'll say something about mental fitness. What I kind of think of when I think of mental fitness is the ability. It's a bit like physical exercise. When we're physically fit, it means we're able to use our body, our muscles, when necessary, in different ways, and then be able to not use them in ways we don't want to use them. So it's the same really for mental fitness. So mental fitness means we're in control of our mind to some extent. Mostly, we can decide when what we think about, or what thoughts we follow, what thoughts we don't follow. So we have more ability of our mind, mastery of the mind. And largely we can see that in terms of reducing unnecessary effort, or making necessary effort when it's necessary. So that's mental fitness. So stress, I define as making too much unnecessary effort. And what we've been training in the last few weeks is the ability to reduce unnecessary effort. So we've been training in mental fitness already, and we'll go through that a bit deeper in this session, the second gear of mindfulness, where we're just directly working with the mind. Let's start with just a short thing about posture and the vagus nerve. This is quite important for when we have some stress. Usually the head goes forward a bit. So when there's stress, there's tension. And one of the things that happens is that the neck tenses up. And it's partly to make the body a smaller target. So the fight-flight response, when it kicks in, the body kind of goes smaller. The spine contracts, and that forces the head forward slightly. And this is the feature that can, when we have stress, that's often the case. If you see someone with stress, sometimes the head is a bit forward. And so when we're relaxing, when meditating, we want to try and extend the spine up in the direction of the top of the head. So when we're meditating, we're extending the spine in a natural way, in a relaxed way, and the chin tucks in slightly, and tucks in and down very slightly in a relaxed way. So we're not doing it hunched. And gradually the posture can improve if we do this every day. And the vagus nerve is what controls the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. It connects the brain to the intestines, lower internal organs. A lot of people haven't. I mentioned the vagus nerve to a couple of people yesterday and say, where's that? Where's the vagus nerve? It's the biggest nerve I think it's the biggest nerve in our body. And it comes up through the neck and it can get compressed. So we're going to do a short exercise on that. So extending the spine. So we can imagine when we meditate, we're hanging from the top of the head, tucking the chin in, not too much. And we're going to tip our head to one side, towards the ear, towards the shoulder, not stretching, but just relaxing, enjoying relaxation. And then moving the eyes to the left, and we'll just relax in that for a minute. You might notice when the vagus nerve gets a reset, you might notice the body automatically takes a deep breath or yawn or swallows, and that's a sign. Vagus nerve has reset. This is something you can probably do during an exam without anyone noticing too much. So enjoying the relaxation, and not doing it forcefully. Looking to the left. And then the other side, ear towards the shoulder, looking to the right, looking towards that shoulder. Not straining. And then again, the other side, relaxing the ear towards the shoulder, but this time moving the eyes to the opposite direction, away from that shoulder. Just enjoying the relaxation. not pushing or stretching, just enjoying the relaxation. And then the other shoulder one more time, relaxing the ear towards the shoulder, moving the eyes, looking in the other direction. Enjoying the feeling of relaxation. Okay. So actually part of mental fitness is physical fitness. So we brought our awareness into our body a little bit there, and that hopefully that helps us with our mental fitness. And that frees up the vagus nerve on each side of around us, near the spine. So the two things there, when meditating, relaxing the top of the head up, or hanging from the top of the head, so the whole body can align when we're upright, when we're meditating upright, sitting upright. If we meditate in a reclining position, then we can shift our head and neck around until it feels good and it's extended. And what that can help with is getting a reset of the vagus nerve. And that's a good thing to do if you're feeling a bit stressed or tense, and before some meditation. Let's try a breathing exercise now that we've done that. So this is another method to get a reset of the vagus nerve, reset the nervous system. Basically, when we take some deep breaths, when we're breathing or we're breathing in a calm and relaxed way, that actually sends a message through the vagus nerve to the brain, letting the brain know we're safe. There's no predator to run away from right now, because we wouldn't be breathing in a deep, relaxed way if there was. So it's a useful trick to know. So again, if you're in exam or stressed and you want a kind of emergency intervention to calm you down, you can do that exercise, the neck exercise, extending the spine, and you can also do some deep breathing. So we'll do some deep breathing now. So I call this an intervention because it's an exercise. When you're not deeply relaxed, it's a kind of an exercise. But when you're in deep meditation, this is the breathing deepens in it naturally without you actually doing it manually. So this is kind of doing it manually. And so what we're going to do is take a deep breath, breathe in fully, hold for a few seconds, and then extend the out breath, saying the word relax in your mind or out loud if you want. And then you can extend that word relax for the whole of the out breath, just like in the first gear method of repetition of the positive word. And then what we want to do is wait a little bit of time before taking another in breath, if that feels okay, natural. So when you've got a lot of oxygen in and then you breathed out, you may not get the urge to breathe in again straight away. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that space between the out breath and the in breath. Just to wait, relax. Wait until you feel the urge to breathe arise, because it may take a few seconds. And in deep meditation, that might go on for a kind of worrying amount of times when you're not used to it. And that's a very deeply relaxing place to be. Let's try that now. Do it in your own time. We'll do a few of these. So it's an intervention. It's not something you want to be doing for a whole meditation. It's just maybe for a few seconds, few breaths, a short time, not more than a minute or a few minutes, to get a reset of the vagus nerve. So deep breath in, hold for a few seconds. Extending out breath. Okay, just 2 breaths, but let's do that for a bit longer, maybe a minute. Doing it in your own time. Okay, okay then. So there are three interventions, mindfulness interventions or relaxation interventions we can use when we're feeling stressed. So now let's do a bit of the training in reducing unnecessary effort. So in terms of mental fitness, being able to choose our thoughts, really. You don't have to follow every thought that pops up and passes through our mind. Like taxis, taxis can come and go. We can choose which ones we get into. We can choose not to get into any of the taxis that as they go past. We can choose to get in the taxi that we want to get in. So that's mental fitness. That's an example of mental fitness. Let's do a minute. Let's do a couple of minutes of allowing thoughts to drop away naturally, choosing not to follow thoughts that pop up. We're not trying to stop the thoughts from popping up. That's not something we can do unless we're in very deep meditation. We're just allowing the taxi of the thought to come and pass away again, pop up, and then just drop away naturally. Choosing not to follow the thoughts, just allowing them to drop away naturally. Let's do a couple of minutes. Waiting until we notice thoughts popped up, and allowing it to drop away naturally. And enjoying the sense of relaxation. We can choose which thoughts to follow or not. So noticing the feeling, what feels better, doing lots of thinking or relaxing the thinking, letting it drop away. Waiting for a thought, to notice a thought pop up. Let's see what happens. Okay, then. So you may not have noticed. You may not have noticed any thoughts popping up, or you may have noticed your head's completely full of thoughts. It's different for everyone. You may have been able to let it drop away, let the taxi just drive past, or you may not have been. So this is the training. This is the training in mental fitness. It's good to do short sessions of this, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, regularly through the day. The main thing to look out for is what feels better. So whether it feels better to do lots of thinking, or whether it feels better to let the thoughts drop away. And this is very similar to physical fitness, physical training. It feels good to be able to use the muscles and then relax them. Very similar, really. And so mental health, physical health, quite similar, quite connected. Yeah, don't force it, don't do too much. One more thing before we finish I'd like to mention is it's not just about reducing unnecessary effort, it's also about making necessary effort. So if we put off things we need to do, that can kind of add unnecessary effort. We can make too much unnecessary effort, but we might need to make necessary effort. Don't push too much. Keep enjoyment or good feeling as your guide. Yeah, what feels good in a kind of holistic sense. And I was going to talk a bit about Tibetan mind training. Maybe just one, we've got a minute left. So Tibetan mind training is great in terms of making necessary effort. So we can choose a thought. If we're really bombarded by kind of stressful or negative thoughts, we can choose to think about how many other people are suffering the same thing we're suffering. There may be millions of people suffering the exact same thing right now. So that's kind of something we can, in terms of choosing a taxi to get into, dwelling on a positive thought might be really helpful. And then, yeah, that's something we can do, a kind of stronger method to reduce stress. Realizing, yeah, there's probably millions of people right now suffering stress the way I am. May they be free of stress. May they be happy. That can kind of that can be a useful method to use. Give that a try. It's kind of as simple as it sounds, really. It's something you can do for a minute, and it might feel effective in just a minute or two. So that's Tibetan mind training, or Lojong. Again, it's kind of mental fitness. We can choose what thoughts to follow, what thoughts to drop away. We can choose to let all thoughts drop away and gradually deeper into meditation, to the point where when we're relaxing into jhana, deep meditation of jhana, thinking fades and fades until we're not aware of any thinking going on. It's deeply satisfying and relaxing. So ideally, if we're have a great mental fitness or mastery of the mind, we can just relax into a deep meditation jhana very quickly, where because it's a matter of reducing unnecessary effort, we don't have to necessarily add anything. So that's in mental fitness. But bearing in mind that if you've got stress, you may only be able to do so much if you have very severe stress factors in your life. So I don't want to give you the impression you can just use mindfulness like a magic pill to take away stress. It's really about conditions, and there may be only don't drop your coping mechanisms too early. That was a warning I wanted to mention. There's only so much we can do sometimes when we have severe stress factors in our life. By applying the mindfulness process and reducing unnecessary effort to our life in a whole, as much as is healthy and as much as works. Not dropping coping mechanisms too early, and trying to have healthy coping mechanisms if we can. So I'll leave it there and give it a try. Minute a day. Try at least 1 minute a day of the mindfulness process, and see you guys on Friday for a Going Deeper session.